Alright, I might, first of all, I might be flipping the camera up and down so you could see what I'm doing. And presents come from the heart. A Christmas card, or any card for that matter, could also be considered a gift. Cards help people get through a tough day. I, for one, personally have experienced that. Cards also take some time to prepare. The very best cards take the longest time, even though they are not difficult to make. It's just people perceive them difficult because they think they don't have time to pour out their heart into something, which is usually a better gift than just always buying something. The first step is to get supplies like paper, crayons, markers, those little card fronts that you get in the mail from different humane societies, and there's glue or tape, stencils, pens, address labels, ribbons, and anything else that you might need. The artist of any type of work chooses what they want to use. The heart is an excellent guide for this, and some of the supplies I have on my bed. That's most of my supplies for scattered out. Here's the address labels, markers. This has glue and the scissors, but they're right over there with the card faces because I was using them to make a card to show while I was making another one to demonstrate. This has crayons and colored pencils. You can use construction paper. There's ribbons, the stencils, anything. I prefer to use white paper. It's usually a lot easier to make something, but the one item that people criticize me for, if I can get it out with all my crap, is makeup. That it creates a nice background, like let me show you here on this paper. If you can see that, this has a nice edge, like brown paper or some color that you cannot get just for the one tone. It's easier to do it with a drier makeup. The moist makeup is kind of a little hard, so you have to use something like a tissue paper or just any type of paper, or even your finger, which kind of gets a little dirty after a while if you're trying to make a card. And there's just all kinds of things to make a card. It's just that people, they think that buying items all the time is the best. And normally, yeah, it's cheaper to make something, but to me, an item from the heart, or even made from the heart, is something that people will cherish. I've done this for years. In between jobs and cleaning out my room and stuff, I've done all this, and my mom usually hates me for it because I'm finished before she is with her job. But the next step is to fold the paper, which I have already done, in either a hamburger or a hot dog bun. That's what I've learned in school. The one is elongated and the other is a little fatter. This thing right here would be considered the hot dog bun because it's long. This way would be considered the hamburger bun. I know there's not much difference, but there is a difference. And the third step is to try and find a face, is what I usually go through and try and go through one of these that I get through the mail. And I was choosing this one. I just picked up the pile first so that way I can show you guys that we get all kinds of them. That's what I use to make my cards with. And plus, doing cards this way, it actually creates, oops, excuse me, something kind of went on my laptop. It creates less usage on ink and, wasting your battery on your laptop or whatever, even though it can be nice and neat on laptop, but after a while using all that ink, it becomes a different color than what you wanted it to be. So that's why I started doing this. But then after you choose your face, you might want to trim it down a little bit, which I'm going to have to do this one. This one I probably won't have to do very much, but I'm going to try. Now, sometimes I cut off the most important details, but when you're trying to fit it onto a piece of paper, it's easier to do it that way. I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather use white paper because it's a lot easier for some of the colors to show up instead of construction paper. Because construction paper, you're a little bit more confined for what you want to use for colors. You can use the white paper and have the construction paper as a background, like a matte type of idea, which actually that does work. And hang on, let me get this little bit here. Alright, see, this is how I trimmed it. Now, let me get it up a little higher. And then it can go on like this. Well, not literally like this, but I had a little diagonal. But yeah, however you want it, you know. If you're the artist, you can just choose it. I'm going to get this down here. I normally like gluing. Sometimes I use tape when I run out of glue. And I recommend not really using glue sticks because they dry a little bit faster. And plus, you don't always get the hold like you should. Yeah, I know sometimes it slides from the way you want it, but you, like an artist of, let's say, Leonardo da Vinci or Bernini, Cezanne, some of the greats, you work with a mistake. If you make a mistake, you roll with it. It's sometimes easier to do it that way because your vision is not always the right vision, because by the time you finish something, it will become something a little different, which in my case, I've always done something a little different compared to everybody else. And so there, I got that on. I like to make messages in here for cars. I don't always leave them blank. The message that a vendor can use is the same message that can be on the back of these cards. Like for this one example, it's a Christmas card, obviously. It says, "May all the wonders of Christmas be yours throughout the year." And there's just different ones. Some of them are the same, you know, with different faces, and they got really cute ones, you know. And I usually use the animal ones. They're a lot easier to make a message out of because you can use the back for guidance, but I'd rather use my own. My own messages seemed a little bit much warmer than these. And so I don't like to use a lot of ink unless I'm busy coloring in something. And so let me have my pen. There we go. Sorry. And let's see. This is a Christmas card. So being it has the animals helping out Santa Claus decorating a tree, I usually go with what's in the picture. So being they're helping out Santa Claus, I'll go, let's help Santa spread good tidings, which is just basically another way to say cheer or happiness, if anybody knows Christmas songs. And then I like to, use leftover or extra address labels. What I like to do with these address labels, if there's an envelope or I make one, is to cut off the picture here where my finger is and use just the wording, even though there's an address in there or on the outside of the card, but they still know who it's from. And then this part here with the picture, I usually use for, like those little stickers that you get with some of these in the mail. But I'm not going to do that with this one. This one I am going to just put inside of here, just like that. And then you still leaves room for any other pictures or anything else that you want to put. And then the final problem that I always have is that trying to figure out who would the card be best for. I've made so many cards with these faces that I've pretty much got a handle of. Let me show you, because I've got some of these done for this coming year, because I didn't think I would need it, but I just spur of a moment had all of these cards that I've done, and well, some of these are presents that I've done that are crossed out, and if there's one with a star, it's because I know they got it. I usually have a system. I know it looks a little messy. The cards I usually do first, and then the presents. What I like doing first is the cards, is because it's a lot easier to figure out people, and for presents, as well, I should say at least time for finding presents. Now I've got a whole bunch done, actually all of them done for Christmas, but I also made one here. It's for my mom for Easter, for singing cat. Well, it's supposed to be a Christmas card, but I made it Easter instead. I get tired of making Christmas cards. It says, "Sing because it's time for the celebration of the holiday season. No, it's not Christmas. It's Easter Sunday. Let's see the bunny leave the children presents." I always did like making these. And so that is pretty much the end of my presentation. I hope you like it, and remember that the difficult part is how the very best cards can take a long time to make, but the words can last a lifetime. Taking time to prepare something would flow the creativity out of a person. One item that can help anyone get through the day is a card from someone. And the card for any occasion can be considered a gift. The heart is poured into everything that a person does, like a present or a card, baking, anything that they would like to do. So let me put this back up here. That's where I usually keep my pens and pencils. And I thank you for listening to this presentation. It took me a long time to prepare all this stuff because I have it in different spots in my room in the house. So thank you again, and I'll see you with the next video that I'll make.